Welcome to the Empowered Women channel with your host, Coach Dee. Coach Dee, a certified leadership coach and author, brings you the Word of God today. It is our hope that today's message will encourage and empower you to do great things in your life. Be blessed as you listen.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Empowered Woman channel. This is your host, Coach Dee. It's a pleasure to be back, and I consider it an honor to come back to your screen. Today, I have with me my mentor, Dr. Mras. She has a whole bio, but I'm not going to go into her bio because I want to tell you who she is to me. When I first wanted to become a leadership coach, I didn't know how to go about it. So I went on Google to find who would help me become a John Maxwell team member and coach. So I Googled JMT coaches and a long list came up. But Michelle literally jumped out at me, and I told her this. She literally jumped out at me, and I said, this is the person I'm going to go with. And so I called her, and she said, oh, well, this is how much it is, blah, 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 blah. She didn't have any group coachings going on at the time. So I said, whenever you have one, let me know. Then she called me one day and said, are you still interested in being a coach? I said, sure. She said, I have this offer, this discount. I'm going to give it to you. And that's how I became a John Maxwell coach. And from that day, she's walked the journey with me. And, before we came on, I was telling her how I used to be afraid to do this. And she would tell me, Dapper, do it anyway. Do it afraid. Jump afraid. And I jumped afraid. And I'm still jumping afraid. And she's still walking with me, helping me to be less afraid. She's been through many things. When we talk about people who've been through trauma, Michelle is one person, and she'll tell us a little bit about what she's been through. But in spite of everything she's been through, one thing that amazed me was when she decided to go for a doctorate. And I said, Michelle, again, she's doing something crazy. She talks about being unapologetically you, and she is always unapologetically Michelle. Michelle, I want to welcome you. This is not your first time, but it's been a long time. And I'm glad you agreed to come back and sit with me again to talk about Mosaic Masterpieces, Beauty from Broken Pieces.
Of course. And it's been an honor to be on this journey with you. And I love seeing that big smile of yours because before it was, what am I going to say? And what should I do? See?
I have grown. I have grown.
And you're now trusting your wings.
Yes. It's been a journey, and I'm grateful for where I'm at. You know my story. You know my journey. You know about my trauma. And I remember when you came out to Texas and we hung out, and you encouraged me to not give up, not quit. And I haven't quit. I'm still being me unapologetically. And I'm loving every minute of it. It's rebuilding after trauma is not an easy road. It's a lonely journey. But when you have people like Dr. Mras backing you up, encouraging you, it makes it easier to walk the journey. So welcome again, Michelle. And let's talk about Mosaic Masterpieces, Beauty from Broken Pieces. As you know, Michelle, a lot of women are broken. Tell us a little bit about your brokenness.
Oh my goodness, a little bit about my brokenness.
a little bit.
Well, my thing is growing up, I always wanted to have, the perfect little house with the white picket fence, and everything was going to be perfect and lovely. I'm going to have 2.3 children and a dog and a cat, all these things that I had in my brain of what was going to be perfect. And, life goes on. And, my senior year of college, I was human trafficked for a year and a half. And then, life went on, and I was in engineering. So in engineering, there was a lot of misogyny, a woman should not be an engineer.
Right,
So
right.
there was those kind of things. But as time went on, I think the biggest one is when you met me is after my brain injury. So I got hit by a car. I was in a car accident and I have a brain injury. I'm missing 4 parts of my brain. Frontal lobe over my left ear, back of my head, 2 hemispheres disconnected. I lost my ability to walk and talk. And when I did start moving after 2.5 years, I had a 16-second memory. I did a TED talk with a 16-second memory. And then I had to relearn how to walk, talk, feed myself, everything. And then as I'm going through that journey, I joined the John Maxwell team. And as I'm in that journey, I found out I had breast cancer. So I think I was only in the John Maxwell team for the first year when I lost both my breasts, and then found out I had other internal issues going on because of my cancer journey. And then most recently, I've had 2 strokes and a whole bunch of mini strokes. And so broken is part of my vocabulary. And when someone says, I'm so sorry you've gone through all this, and I do, don't be. Because in the trauma, in the moment, it's painful, it's terrifying, it's scary.
It is.
But it's horrifying. And then everyone disappears. Everyone you think that was going to be around you, everyone disappears. And you have to find the little pieces of thread where someone's going to like hold you to reality so that you like, am I alone in all of this?
Right.
You know, and so you have to find all that and you realize the people who matter, the people who don't matter. The things you thought were sacred before are no longer sacred. It's like, no, I don't really need that anymore.
Right.
It helps readjust your life on who you are and who you really are and who you want to be. And so, although terrible things have happened, and to you and to me, a lot of us,
Right.
in that terribleness, you've got to realize, and this is how I see it, and this is why I wanted to talk about mosaics. Every incident that happened isn't just one color of my life. It shattered me. Okay, so think of yourself as a glass.
Right. Right.
My first trauma, I got broken. I didn't know what to do. I got broken. But in that moment,
Sorry, let me stop you there.
What?
The first trauma was the human trafficking.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. Because women who've been through trauma, not necessarily human trafficked, trauma at the hand of a spouse.
Yes.
Some have been beaten.
Yes.
You can relate to that because of the human trafficking. So tell us a little bit more, just a teeny bit.
A tiny bit, because my thing is it's probably the worst part of my entire life. And my thing with that is, although it's the worst part of my life, it was the most horrific time of my life. But because of it, I've learned to address other issues that have come into my life.
Right.
It prepared me because I was always on alert. I was always watching people's body language, who was going to hurt me next, or how do I speak and how do I work so that that person doesn't want me, you know? And so I was doing things, adjusting, reading body language on men to make sure I wasn't the one they would want. And I can't explain it, but I know that's what I did. And so for women who have gone through this with someone they love, it breaks my heart. I was able to go through it because I was able to zone out. I don't know you. I'm just going to go out of my body and act like this isn't happening and just leave. For those of you who have to go through that kind of abuse with someone that you loved at one point in time, right? Someone you trusted, someone you had children with. I can't even fathom that, because I was able to do just a man, hopefully never see him again. But to go home every day and be with that same person and have to smile in public with them, I only had to smile in public when they would bring me out and I had to be their arm candy. And so to have children, so those of you who have been married and are at the hand of an abuser, I cannot imagine that kind of trauma. With me, it was strangers, which was scary in itself.
I was going to say, that must have been very difficult. Yes, with somebody you love, it's hard. But it's even harder when it's strangers. But the trauma,
and you don't know if they're going to kill you or not.
Right. And sometimes it's the same with the spouse. You don't know if the spouse is going to come kill you. But the beauty of it is the strength that came out of it? Because you've told me that story many times.
It's amazing.
How you were able to come out of it stronger than you went in. And this is a message I'm carrying around daily, that healing is possible and there's healing on the other side of trauma, but a lot of women don't see it. They get stuck.
Oh, when you're in it, you won't see it.
Correct.
When you're in it, you won't see it. And that is why I like to say, do it afraid. Now, take care of yourself, make safety measures, but you must do it afraid, because there is no point in this trauma that you're going to do, you know what? I'm strong and brave. I can do this. There's never a point. At every point, it's like, if I do this, if I do that, what happens?
Eggshells.
The result. Yeah, it's just constant. And so you have to find the most logical path for you to get out. Like you found. It is terrifying. You got to run. And the thing is you had things in place that you knew, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm gone. And then once you act on it, you cannot second guess yourself when you're in the act of gone. You can't, because if you second guess yourself, you can't look back. I mean, with me, I accidentally ended up going back to my abuser once I ran away. I ran away and I was bouncing from house to house trying to get away from the human traffickers, but I didn't know who they all were. So when I'm bouncing around, I don't know who sees me and when they saw me and when they called me out, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I want to tell your listeners, you're going to have to do it afraid, because if you don't, you will be trapped forever. And for those who made it out, you know that there's life on the other side. Yeah, it's not rainbows and butterflies. It's not easy, because you have to rebuild everything you are and everything you believe. And every time their voice comes back into your head, you've got to remember that they were lying. I mean, I am now in my late 50s and I still hear the voices of the men who told me what I was. And I have to actively fight those voices. And I'm sure you do too.
Right.
Part of being abused is mostly verbal. And I think I've told this to a therapist. I can handle the beating. It was the mental abuse that messed with me, because it made holes in my brain. It wove like a worm through all of my thoughts and everything I did and every accomplishment. And so you have to be able to find security in yourself. You have to be able to find that mosaic, that the broken pieces of you are just pieces of you. It doesn't mean that you stay shattered and that you're unlovable. And I love the mosaic because, what I love the mosaic about is all those broken pieces, all those broken things. Every time you got hurt, all of that, it's just broken pieces. But when you, as a woman, decide that you are going to hold it together, you are putting it into a mosaic, like what do I explain? A mosaic, for those of you who don't know, it's like those broken glass
at
in
the
church.
cathedral.
In the Catholic churches, they have these big glass windows with all this different colors that make pictures.
Right.
You are the broken glass.
Yes.
And as I told you right before we got online, is our places of worship are not built with plain glass. They tend to be built with broken glass that has experienced different colors, different shapes, different edges, different sharp edges. And it doesn't really matter, because once you put them all together, it's all beautiful. And that's what I see us. We are all women. It doesn't matter if you've never experienced anything. We are all broken in some way, shape, or form. Correct. But it's not broken as in destroyed. It's broken to become uniquely you, which is why I say, be you, unapologetically you, in all your broken pieces, because nothing is really broken when you choose to be uniquely you.
Amen. Nothing is broken when you choose to be uniquely you. Okay. So I am being me. I'm being dapper. I'm being uniquely me. I'm being the best version of myself. Healing really is not forgetting the past.
No.
But it's stepping into who your abuser didn't think you'll become. it's becoming that person that God originally intended for you to be. So let's talk about the broken pieces. You said we're all like glass.
Mhm.
We're very fragile, but at the same time, we're very strong. Because when you think of how the woman was made, she was made from bone.
Mhm.
And I tell this story. I love to tell it because it's one thing that God used to encourage me. She was built out of bone. She was made out of bone, strength. So there is inherent strength in the woman, but at the same time, she's very fragile. The Bible says she's a weaker vessel, right? And because she's a weaker vessel, we think, oh, she'll be broken and she'll be broken forever. No. And this is where the Mosaic Masterpieces come in. When we all come together, me, you, Sally, Sandra, Bernice, everybody, we're all broken, but we come together in worship to make that beautiful mosaic masterpiece that we see in churches. Then worship oozes out of vessels of honor, vessels that have been broken but that have been brought together. There's this Chinese art that involves using gold to
Yes.
Fix broken
To
china,
mend broken.
mend
Yes.
broken china, right? And it feels like that's who we are after we have been broken and we come back. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Beauty from broken pieces.
Talk about the beauty for broken pieces. You are a prime example. I'm a prime example. And pretty much everyone who's listening right now is a prime example. That people see us, they do, oh, she's got everything together, but you didn't have it all together. And that is the beauty in the broken pieces. We are able to do what most people can't even imagine us doing. And especially our abusers. And they told us often how we are not. And how dare you think that God believes in you, and those kind of things being thrown at you. Those broken pieces. I like the Japanese art of, I can't remember it. They mend broken pottery with gold. And I like that even more than the mosaic. But in my mind, the mosaic works because I see every trauma as a different color, changing the color different. And that's where I see the mosaic. In the Japanese pottery, the gold mending, the pottery stays the same color. I don't see me as the same person I was before my trauma. So I see it as different colors. Every time something affected me, I changed colors. I got stronger. I got into another mode, or there was a part in me where I was angry. I was different colors during those different breaking points. And so when I say being mended back together, I don't see that the Japanese with gold. I see mosaic with concrete. And concrete's one of the strongest forms of adhesion, right?
Right.
And I see that as also a cornerstone. God built with a cornerstone. Cornerstones are stone, rock, concrete. Mm-hmm. And I see women who are broken being reassembled with stone. The cornerstones, little pieces of cornerstone that help us become stronger and wiser as we forge our way through. And the other part of the mosaic and that forging of putting all these pieces together, and as women come together in unison to bond together, and we all become another giant vessel.
Right.
Think of it. We're a chalice. Together, we're a chalice. Broken pieces. Together. And we hold the lifeblood. The children of the church, the families, everything. We are the chalice.
We are the architect of society. Without us, as broken as we are, without us, many things would be broken.
But remember,
even though we are broken,
our brokenness makes us stronger. If you put a plain glass next to a glass that was made out of broken glass, the mosaic, okay? Or even the Japanese, I think it's called iki. I can't remember. The gold.
I forgot what it's called.
I can't remember. But if you put any of those, put a plain glass that's never been broken, a mosaic, and the Japanese reconnected, and put water in it and throw rocks at them. which one will break first?
Oh, the plain glass.
The one with concrete, you'd have to hit it with something really hard to get it to break. And that's why I see Mosaic with the concrete stronger, because the Japanese Iziki, I can't remember, it is also still fragile. But with the Mosaic, it's stronger.
And it's stronger because it's been passed through fire, I think. How do you color?
Yeah.
How do you color? You have to color them. You take them through fire to color, right?
Oh yeah, to get color in the glass, that's fire, which is why I see every broken time in my life as a different color, because you put the color in during firing, heating. And then when you break it up and you put them all back together in a mosaic, you're putting it in the concrete, but you also heat it up to make it blend. So you're double firing, you're quadruple firing. And I've always seen it that way. I always have. And when people say, oh, I'm broke, and I do, good. What are you going to do with it? I think I said that to you.
True.
Good. What are you going to do about it?
Yes.
Because
and it's interesting you said that, because I was thinking recently, narcissism has become a buzzword. I don't use it because not everybody is a narcissist.
Yeah.
And the question that keeps coming to me is, okay, we're talking about this issue. We have so much knowledge now about this thing, about abuse, about trauma, but what is the next step? What are we going to do with all of that knowledge?
Well, you're already
Most people get stuck. Most people get stuck in that space. But the plan of God for you, the mind of God towards you, is healing and wholeness. For you to be useful again, for you to be, you're going through fire again to become the mosaic, right? So that is where the message of healing comes in. You cannot stay stuck in your brokenness. You have to do something with it. You have to, think of the children of Israel. When they came out of Egypt, they were pretty broken.
Yes.
Very broken. But God was taking them into the promised land. The land filled with milk and honey. They had to go through the pillar of fire by night, the pillar of cloud by day. They went through the baptism through the Red Sea to come out on the other side.
And then still waited 40 years.
And they still waited 40 years to get to their destination. But through all of that, God was still working. He hadn't left them. He hadn't abandoned them. He was still with them, even though it didn't feel like it. But they were a work in progress.
That's a huge one.
Okay.
Even though it didn't feel like it.
It never feels like something is happening. Yeah.
Yes. And that's, I see it as the wonderful parent he is. He didn't do everything for us. He lets us figure it out with the tools he gave us through our survival. And then he waits for you to use it. He let you have that ability to gain knowledge. And he says, okay, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to leave you to use the tools you figured out you had, to use the strength you figured out you had. Use them. He didn't say, okay, now here, do this. Okay, and here's another door. And no, he didn't do all of that, because a good parent wouldn't do that. A good parent would let you fall, let you figure it out for yourself, because then it's not, oh yeah, my parents gave it to me. Oh yeah, God gave it to me. No, there's more appreciation with, I earned this because I believed and I trusted God as he led me through doors that I did not want to walk through.
Oh, talk about doors that I did not want to walk through. Too many.
Yeah.
Too many doors. And
the magic is in that fear of opening the door and trusting that you'll get caught. You will be not caught, but he will catch you.
Right.
He'll catch you.
He won't let you fall. He will not let you fall. He'll catch you.
Trust. There's a lot of trust.
That fear is one thing that the fear of what's on the other side is one of the things that kept me for a long time. What's on the other side? What am I going to do? How am I going to navigate this? Those were questions I asked myself. How did I get here? But I remember that first time we talked about broken glass. we had just had a women's conference, I think, or was it, I can't remember whether it was before or after the women's conference, where we talked
I think it was after the women's conference, because I was talking about, originally, I talk about the cake.
Yes, the hummingbird cake.
Yeah,
and all the pieces, that go into the hummingbird cake. And we talked about broken crayons can still color. And then you said, well, the best part of it is broken glass becomes a mosaic masterpiece.
Yes.
And that's who we are. And I told you this, I've carried that with me for how many years now? I can't even remember. It's been like
9 years.
Yeah, something like that. But I've never forgotten it. I've never forgotten it because it's helped me to draw strength from the Lord and to also know that my brokenness was not wasted. It wasn't in vain. It's for a purpose, and in the fullness of time, I'll see it. I'm beginning to see some of it now. Not everything. I know there's a lot more going on. But the fact that my journey was not wasted and he's crafting something out of my journey, beauty from the broken pieces, just makes me want to say, Lord, I thank you. Lord, I love you. I don't want to do this again, but the fear of opening that door kept me for so long. How should we broken women handle that fear? You've been through a lot. I mean, accident.
Well, and I want to address that part. Is for those of you who are wondering and start questioning if God's still there because you seem to be suffering so much, understand he really is. And I mean, there were times in my life where, after my human trafficking, I thought God did not exist or he hated me because I would cry, God, stop him, please, God, stop him, please, God, stop him. And he never stopped him. And now I realize my question, my plea to God should have changed. And that's what saved me. I stopped saying, God, stop him. And I said, God, what can I do? And the what can I do is when I felt the answer. You're smarter than him. I never thought of that. So although you feel that he's abandoned you, never lose faith because he's guiding you in a way that you're trying not to look because you're too afraid to look that way. That's the way to look. Like you were afraid to open the door because what's on the other side? I don't know what's on the other side. God's on the other side of the door doing, come, I'm waiting for you on this side. Come this side. I can't push you through the door. You've got to open the door. But it was the one you didn't want to open.
It was.
You wrote a book, you wrote a journal, you started a women's thing, you were doing all these things because you would rather do this and distract yourself than open the door and walk out.
12 years I was running that women's conference.
Yes. 12 years of avoidance. And God had your back when you walked out that door. Right. If I walk out the door, I won't have a job. I won't be able to survive. You walked out, you found a job. You survived. You see?
One day at a time.
So for those of you who are afraid, I want you to sit quietly when you can and realize what is the one thing you are most terrified of doing. Some of you, it won't be walking out the door. It will be saying, we need therapy together. Or I want to go on a trip just away from you for a week because I need a couple of days to just saying anything against him you're afraid of. Do that and see what happens because it might be the one door you needed to get away.
Right.
You just don't know it until you do it.
You don't know it until you do it. Mm-mm. Fear is terrible.
Oh, when I left my human trafficker, I ran blindly. I packed a bag and I ran blindly and I hopped from home to home to home to home and never knew if he was going to be waiting for me in front of any door or in front of my jobs, everything. It was terrifying. And now I look back and I do, wow, 1, that was brave of me. 2, I can't believe he didn't find me. 3, it's like, wait a minute. If God wasn't there, he would have caught me as soon as I walked out that first door.
Right.
And so know that you are not supposed to be there suffering. And no man, or in some cases, woman,
Right.
whoever you're at this point,
Mm-hmm.
no man can tell you who you are. God created us individually, beautiful, perfect, and for a purpose. And when someone is telling you that you are not, something's wrong. Because none of us are here for nothing. And our experiences are for something. And you might not ever do anything like massive. I mean, we're not saying you have to go on stages and talk about this, but you could be the next person that recognizes that look in another woman's eyes and say, you're not alone.
And being that woman is very important, because I remember when I was going through my journey, there were people I wanted to talk to that did not give me audience.
Huge.
And so for me, it's important to listen to that next woman, to care for that next woman. But at the same time, as I'm listening to your point, I am mindful of the fact that they're not alone. A lot of times, I mean, there's a woman in particular that promised me, oh, I'll see you, I'll talk to you. She never did. And it was hurtful, but it also taught me that when I lift my eyes to the hills, my help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. And so for the women who are listening, it doesn't matter how bad your situation is. It doesn't matter how long you've been in that situation. God is there. And Michelle has said it. God is there and your help comes from him. When I walked out of that door, Michelle, I didn't plan to leave. I went out to work. But then things changed. My abuser went.
And you saw an opportunity and you ran.
And I ran. And my abuser helped me without him realizing, because he went on a smear campaign. Was telling everybody I was sleeping around. I was, when I was not. But God was there every step of the way. And when I had the opportunity, I ran. But to your point, not everybody is going to leave. But if you can at least be unapologetically you and stand up for yourself, it will make a world of difference. We're not trying to break up marriages. We're just saying, be you and know that God has got your back.
Yeah. If you listen, you pray, you'll hear him. You will feel what you're supposed to be doing. It could be go to therapy. It could be anything like that. It doesn't mean run, but you have to be quiet enough to listen and get your ego out of the way.
Right. Therapy is also key because brokenness often impacts our clarity.
Yes.
But therapy helps when it comes to that space. When you don't have clarity, I remember going through therapy. I've been through therapy 4 times, Michelle. I remember going through therapy the first time, and she would just let me talk. She would ask questions and she would let me talk. I didn't realize that telling her my story was catharsis, right? It was part of the healing process for me. Mm-hmm. And then I went through the second time, the third time. And then when I was done, somebody in Nigeria said, oh, no, you still need to go through therapy with a Nigerian because our situation is different and peculiar. And I did. So I went through therapy 4 times. But each one was different. But yes, each one achieved a different purpose in my life.
Well, the thing about therapy is women, we're notorious for it. We will tell the therapist what we think they need to hear. When you go to therapy, for it to truly work, you need to be open. You need to be open. You need to be honest with yourself and them. And so when thoughts are coming through your head, you can't be, rewriting it in your head as you're telling them. Tell your therapist as it really is, not the way you think it needs to sound so you sound like you're put together, because they'll be able to see and understand and be able to help you better when you're more truthful with what's happening.
But let me ask you this, Michelle. Why do women try to, when they go to therapy, why do women try to look like everything is okay?
Think of our society. You're a strong woman. Strong women can do everything. We can work, we can take care of our children, we can cook, we'll have the house perfectly clean, and that's what strong women do. So by going to therapy, we admit that we can't do it all. Oh my goodness, we're human. And so what we do when we go to therapy is we try to make ourselves not look like we're falling apart, because in our society, women don't fall apart. So we protect our ego. And that's why I said, you go into therapy, make sure you check your ego at the door and say, I need help. I'm tired and this is not working and I'm feeling this and this is what's happening. And when he does this or when I say this, this happens, and I need to know I'm not crazy. This is happening. We justify so that we can fit the narrative that has been pounded into our lives, into our heads all our lives.
As women.
As women.
As women.
Yeah.
So we need to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
We need to be honest. As women.
It's a safe place to be honest and vulnerable.
It's a safe space.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I also have come to realize is that we need people. But because of trauma, we tend to shut out people.
Well, and vice versa. Not only do we shut off people, we put off a vibe that I don't want to be discovered. I don't want people to know my dark secret. And so we put off this energy that people do. I don't know what that is, but it feels wrong. And so they start avoiding you. The other thing about it is when they know you're going through trauma, they're afraid that by helping you, it will expose their trauma. So what I found was the people that didn't come to my side, or you, for people who did not come to your side, you look at their life, you do, wait a minute, maybe they're experiencing something, and then if they help me, it will expose it more. So it keeps them in their safe bubble, in their little world of perfectness. If I don't look at that problem, mine won't come up. And so I've learned to forgive people who weren't there for me when I thought they should be, because they were dealing with their own things. And by looking at mine and admitting that mine were happening would make them, force them to see what was happening in their own lives. And they weren't ready for it.
They were not ready for it. Mm-hmm. I love that perspective, Michelle. And thinking back, I'm thinking of a few people that I thought would be there and they were not. Yeah, they're dealing with their own trauma.
Exactly.
So coming into my corner would not only have exposed their trauma, it would have put them in a bad light. Put them at risk, put them in a bad light with my abuser and the enablers.
Yeah.
So
and not everyone is strong enough to handle it. Not everyone is in their point of their journey, God's journey, to be ready for that. And so that's why those people disappear. And so my thought is, bless them. And in their time, they will have to face it too, whatever they're going through. And when they are, I'll be there for them because I've come through this. Grace.
Grace. Oh my God. Sometimes you don't feel like extending grace.
Yeah. And that's when you should.
That's when you should.
That's the humor. That's the humor God has. When you don't want to, that's when you should.
I had this conversation with somebody. We're talking about when things settle, how do you handle these people who were not there when they should have been? And you just give me the answer. Extend grace to them. Because everybody, and I remember who said they be kind to everybody because somebody's carrying something. Mm-hmm. They're carrying something that I may not see, they may not want to share with me, but I need to understand that they are carrying something, and I need to extend grace to
And it
them.
may not be exactly in them. It could be their brother, their sister, their mother, something they saw very close to them, something in their childhood. You never know. So you give them grace.
Give them grace. May God help me. I'm growing into a mosaic masterpiece when I think of all the broken pieces in my life, not just in my marriage, but
What to
in
say
my
before
life.
you got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all carry some measure of brokenness. We all have some trauma, childhood trauma, adolescent trauma, all kinds of trauma. But when I look at every phase of my life and everything I've been through, I remember, this car is can you see it? You've seen my
Oh, I
scars
see it.
before.
I've seen your scar.
When I think of that season, that's brokenness because it was traumatic for me. I was only 14 when this happened. When I think of, going off to school far away from my parents, when there would sometimes be no food, not that they didn't give me food to go to school, but, you know, you run out of food quickly because you're not going to the cafeteria to eat. You're only eating the food your parents give you. And then you're miserable, you know. When I think of all those seasons of my life, everything you're telling me makes sense because now I see that the broken pieces are now coming together to form a mosaic masterpiece. And
Yes.
each one has a different color. Each one has a different color. When I think of childbearing, the pain of childbearing, I was in labor for 2 weeks at a time, pregnant with my son. I was in labor for 2 weeks. That is some form of brokenness. So at every stage
And a
of our
whole new
lives,
color.
and now,
And a whole new
yes,
color.
at every stage of our lives, as we go through every season, and we're broken in those seasons add color to our lives. And my entire journey, as I laid before me as we're speaking, is forming a beautiful mosaic masterpiece.
Good.
That will
And
be
I want everyone to recognize that. You are not broken. You are being formed into something else. You are transforming. When people look at me and they do, wow, look at this woman. She's got everything together. She's so, oh, whatever. It's all those broken pieces, building upon building. Everything that happened to you as a child, as you went through a young adulthood into adulthood, to all of this, you learned something from every broken time in your life. And if you look back, every broken time of your life, you learned a lesson that helped you with the next one. And if you didn't use it with the immediate next one, you used it for something later. And if you look back at your life now from the stand that you are now, realizing that you're being formed into this beautiful mosaic vase, okay? You'll realize every trauma you went through, you learned something. God gave you a gift so that you would be able to survive what you've gone through already, what you've just gone through. It's amazing how
nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted.
He uses it all. And though it feels like, oh my gosh, please stop putting me in the silver fire. Stop refining me. I don't want to be refined anymore. There's always a little bit more. And I thank God for all the different fires I've gone through. Every time something happens, I learn something new. And this beautiful woman before you becomes more beautiful because she learns another new piece of her and another new gift that she was gifted divinely.
With trauma comes a gift.
Every one of them. Don't see it while you're in it, but you'll see it later. I promise.
Promise. Thank you, Michelle. You always warm my heart, and I'm grateful for you. And I will always be grateful for you. Thank you for joining me today.
And I'll always be here for you. You find me when you need me.
I will find you. You know I will. You know I will. I appreciate you very much. And for everyone listening, I just want to pray that everything that Michelle has told us today has blessed your heart. And I pray that you will see what God is doing, even through the trauma that you're going through. It is not wasted. There is purpose in pain. And for every bit of pain you have been through and still going through, some of you are still in that abusive relationship. It's for a reason. It's for a purpose. I look forward to seeing you again. And I'll bring her back, I promise. She has a lot of wisdom and she'll come deposit a lot of nuggets into our lives. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you very much. And we'll see you again. Is there something you want to say before we round it up? One last word? One word, 2 words, one sentence?
Nothing is truly broken, right?
Nothing
You're
is
stepping
truly
into
broken.
being uniquely you.
Helping you.
And remember, you must be the best version of you unapologetically. You. Not what someone else tells you to do.
Not what
do everything in your time and in your timing. You pray and you listen. Don't be afraid. And remember that Footprints poem. When you think you're all alone, he's carrying you.
Carrying you.
Okay.
Amen.
Hold tight. Be strong.
Amen. Thank you.
So glad you joined us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.